If you're gonna take a shot at this bee, you better not miss.
Is Bethenny Frankel the biggest hypocrite on social media right now? If you couldn't tell by the title of this video, I say yes. Bethenny Frankel is an influencer. She's a skinny girl. She's a podcaster. She's a reality TV star. She's a New York Times bestselling author. She's a chef, not a cook. Bethenny has been everywhere and done everything, okay? But if you were to go on her TikTok today, or even her Twitter, which is literally just mostly links to her TikTok, you would know that Bethenny is an accidental beauty influencer.
Patrick Ta, this is an face and body glow. Oh, it's just so rich. It's great for when your whole face is broken out and you just want to calm it all down. Elf has this balm. It doesn't really do anything.
And apparently, Bethenny Frankel trying drugstore beauty products is a national news story.
I was so confused with all the messaging and all the marketing, and I wanted to cut through. And I started doing this, just comparing. I would have a $50 side of my face to a $500 to see if it makes a difference. Is drugstore just as good? The answer is yes.
Well, that's
yes.
interesting.
But yes, and the moms were all reaching out saying, thank you, because I said, if you're an expert, keep scrolling. If you are a person who just wants to get out the door in 10 minutes and figure out how to make a difference in your face, then maybe we'll learn something together. And so I just decluttered this space.
No, you didn't. There have been tutorials from beauty influencers for like 10 years plus doing exactly what Bethenny is claiming that she came in and transformed the entire industry around. It's really not fun and cool and quirky, in my opinion, to come out on national television and say you were the person who stepped up and made change in the industry. It's just like a big slap in the face to all the people who didn't start out as reality TV stars and celebrities and owners of million-dollar brands. They have been doing these videos and creating this content for their communities for years. And whether you agree with the beauty influencing industry or not, it doesn't matter. Bethenny is not the one who's created this whole thing. It makes me really annoyed when someone takes credit for something that they did not come up with. And Bethenny Frankel is not supportive of the influencer community. In fact, she's actually made fun of and tried to belittle the community many times through her own social media.
This is me being every single person on Instagram. Want to see my haul? This is my Kylie skincare haul. This is my Kylie Cosmetics Hey Sugar. Oh my God, I can't pay my rent, but I bought it anyway. I came. I was so scared it would be sold out because I'm an influencer now, and I just thought that it would be sold out, but no, it's here. Oh my God. Okay, guys, I just got my Kylie haul. I just got a haul.
That's not how you use the word.
I just got a haul pass.
No, you said I'm doing a haul.
I'm doing a haul pass.
No.
Okay. If you put this makeup on, you will be a billionaire within minutes and have a tiny waistline, a large derriere, a hip-hop boyfriend, an amazing life, and hold on, I have to get that packaging open. I'm just so excited. Wait a minute. Oh my God. Look at the pigment. Look at the pigment. Do you see the swatch? OMG. Wearing it tonight. I can't pay my rent, but I have highlighter.
That's really cute. For you to belittle and make fun of these people and constantly bring up that, oh, I can't afford my rent, but I'm going to buy makeup, it just feels really, really mean. And someone in Bethenny's comments asked how much money she was spending on her own makeup tutorials and reviews, and Bethenny said $10,000. So are you saying that influencers should only be people who can afford $10,000 for hauls? And speaking of hauls, as you saw in that video, it seems that Bethenny has a problem with the word haul. That's some sort of like annoying catchphrase that she doesn't like. She also has a problem with the word snatched, apparently.
That's snatched. I just snatched it.
No, that's not.
I just snatched
You
it.
said, because make me look so snatched.
I'm snatched up. I'm fully snatched.
You snatched
Let's
it.
snatch it up. Hold on, let's snatch more. Oh my God, this is like a pink gasm. Look at the pigment. Snatched up. Snatch it.
Oh my God.
Snatched it. I snatched it.
Maybe we can pull some resources for the underprivileged influencers. My favorite is them saying, oh my God, it was terrible. We were being trampled and we couldn't get on the bus. And it was horrible. And we definitely were not those people that said, do you know who we are? We definitely were not. And I'm like, who are you? And, but anyway, we have our fit check and we're snatched and we're on our way back and we'll let you know how it goes today. Yay!
But then when Bethenny tries to create like a fun play on words type of thing to make her content quirky and cool,
It's not gloppy on the toppy.
that's totally fine, and you shouldn't make fun of her for that. That is an original idea. Whatever. Anyways, so let's go back to that CBS segment, and I want to start to debunk or question or at least shine some doubt on some of the things that Bethenny says in that segment.
Who started this, Bethenny?
Well, but March 31st, I think it was, when I started just doing my makeup. I don't know how to do my own makeup, and I don't wear makeup, which is the irony.
Okay, so there's three things there in that one sentence that I found interesting. The first thing being that she started on March 31st. Now, if you look at her TikTok, March 31st is when she posted one of her first tutorials.
I'm not into gimmicks, okay? I'm into doing the best that I can to look decent when I have to.
But then in the month of April, she went insane. And I have a strong suspicion that a lot of these videos were batch captured because she literally has so many products on so many different days. The fact that you would have started on the last day of March and then at the end of April have like 1,000 videos in which you're comparing all these products and then somehow went from not understanding makeup whatsoever to giving all these hacks and tricks just a few days later. I don't know. And then you're not really giving like, hey, I got this idea from this other beauty influencer, or hey, I saw this tip and trick from this person and now I'm going to show you. She just says, here's a hack that, I guess you're supposed to assume that she's come up with by not being interested in makeup. It's a little confusing.
This is a really helpful hack. You know that you're supposed to moisten your makeup sponges, right? Use a hydrating toner.
And just a second ago, when I said she had like 1,000 videos, I was being facetious. But she actually did post more than 150 times in the month of April. That means she had an average of 5 posts a day, every single day, including weekends. That's not easy to do. For example, on April 4th, she posted a hair tip, a recipe, a lip gloss review, a primer review, and then the next day she posted a mascara review, a serum review, and a makeup palette review. And because I literally could not spend any more time counting how many products she used, I only looked at the first 15 days of April. Bethenny displayed and talked about 75 different products related to skincare, makeup, and hair. And you're gonna tell me that she just does this for fun? Give me a break. How does she have time to do literally anything else?
You have to be playing chess, not checkers. You have to think, if I do this and then that happens, if I don't do this and then that happens, you just have to be playing mental chess and be 5 steps ahead of everyone else. And frankly, 5 steps ahead of yourself.
And some people will say, well, she probably has a social media team, or she has an assistant, or somebody's helping her with this content, because of course, how can there not be? Unless this is her literal all day, everyday job, because she's tagging on the brands in the comments. She's able to put the brand name, the name of the product, and the price in the video through text. That doesn't take 2 seconds. That is a thing that you have to think about in advance. Okay, so I'm assuming, yes, she has help, because 5 videos a day, my God, that is like a lot of work. However, when she went onto that CBS segment, she did not say, me and my team, my company and I are doing this thing. She says, me, 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 me. I've done this. I'm the first one. I'm the best one. I'm doing things differently. It's me. I've just become an accidental influencer, and this is part of my brand. There was no mention of, hey, thanks to my team, they make it easy for me to do this. I just think that, this whole thing, to me, in my opinion, seems much more corporate than they want you to believe, than she wants you to think about. Yes, she's got the camera cracked up to the top of her ceiling. Yes, her lighting sucks. Yes, she's like in a closet for no reason whatsoever. But that's all part of making it look relatable, in my opinion. She could afford to go to a studio and have good lighting and show the difference between Marc Jacobs foundation and CoverGirl. She could do that. She's been on national TV shows for a long, long time. She's not stupid. So what do I think she actually is doing here? A few people suggested that Bethenny needs a makeup line. Well, it looks like their wish came true, but it was actually back in 2012. The line included tinted moisturizers, exfoliating scrubs, and plumping lip glosses. I'm assuming it didn't do that well because it seems to have vanished from store shelves. I just find it bizarre that a woman who had a literal beauty line is wanting people on her TikTok to believe that she has no idea about makeup whatsoever. In these comments, she says, "I don't speak makeup fluently, so I'm not influenced by any BS." And then someone says it's pronounced Morphe, because she called it Morph, which is a beauty brand. And she said, "I don't speak cosmetics." Okay. And in this video, she addresses what she's doing on the platform and says that basically she's just doing this to make a difference in people's lives.
I want to cut through the BS because it's a lot of marketing, a lot of packaging, and we are just absorbing this information and running to these beauty stores like we're being paid. And I'm not being paid. I'm spending so much money to cut through this.
So in that video, she says she's not being paid, right? She's not being compensated for doing any reviews. But look at this video. If I didn't open the description and see hashtag ad, I don't know if I would have instantly recognized that she in fact is being paid for this review.
Madison Reed has a color bar. You can consult online. Most importantly, I can do it at home.
And here is an actual sponsored ad. Again, looks very, very similar to the other content she's producing.
This is an excellent product. Also, look at the size of it. It's weighty and it's under $10.
And I'm not disagreeing that Bethenny has spent a lot of money on these reviews, but when someone called out how expensive one of the foundations that she was featuring was, in the comments she says, "Someone sent this to me." Okay, so that doesn't really quite align with this video.
Exactly 0.0 of these things were sent to me by anybody. I actually purchased them all myself online.
So again, you have to be very, very careful when watching anyone's content, especially someone's content where they're telling you, this is all real, this is from the bottom of my heart just because I care. You got to look at those people's content 10 times more critically.
Don't hate the player, hate the game. Stop whining about individuals. Just worry about how you are playing the whole game, the big picture.
This comment, I think, is probably, in my opinion, the thing that is the most possible of a future for Bethenny in the beauty space. I would totally buy a monthly Bethenny box with all of your recommended products. And Bethenny responds, "That's a good idea." I would not be surprised if we see some Bees beauty boxes in the near future. The second thing is that Bethenny does not know how to do her makeup and she doesn't ever wear makeup. If you look for 2 seconds on any time Bethenny has appeared on camera, almost 99.9% of that, including her Instagram photos and anytime she does a photo shoot, she's in full glam. So I don't know what "I don't wear makeup" means. Does that mean like when you're sleeping in bed, you don't put makeup on? Yeah, so does like everybody else in the world. I don't know what she means by "I don't wear makeup." And the third thing is that she doesn't know how to do her makeup and she's never done her own makeup before. Okay, then why 9 years ago did you have tutorials that were eerily similar to the same type of content that you're doing now, but they're on YouTube?
Something I found really recently is this puffier brush, which usually is for the eye crease.
What I think is Bethenny saw her daughter during the pandemic be obsessed with TikTok. Her daughter is like 12 years old. And I think she got interested in the platform, but probably thought it was just for kids at the beginning. And if you see some of Bethenny's old content, it's not very good.
You've got to get out, step on the breeze, get a t-shirt on.
Look behind you.
It's not very polished, but I will say it comes off as like genuinely trying to enjoy the app, which I can appreciate much more than someone pretending to try to be relatable to people to ultimately sell them something down the line, which is my opinion, which is what I think she's doing here. And speaking of Bethenny's daughter, she has used her as sort of the excuse as to why she feels justified in criticizing the Kardashians, especially Kim Kardashian.
So regarding the Met Gala drastic weight loss by Kim Kardashian, if you need to lose weight for a role, it's your body, your choice. But when you are the most photographed famous person to walk this planet, who young women and mothers look to everything that you do and wear and say, to publicly say that you lost 16 pounds in 2 weeks to fit into a dress, the most superficial of reasons, is all wrong. Young girls hang on every word and outfit and lip gloss, and it's incorrect. And while I'm at it, to deceptively post pictures that is not what your body actually looks like, to filter your body to the point that it doesn't look like what your body actually looks like, is deceptive, aka lying. We have to start watching what we're showing young women in particular, and what we're saying and what we're doing.
So I don't necessarily disagree with what she's saying here, but it's really hard for me to take Bethenny seriously when it's like, take a look in the mirror before you start like criticizing other people, or at the very least, take responsibility for your role in toxic diet culture. You literally own a company called SkinnyGirl, and this is the logo for it. Like, come on. And then she will defend herself no matter what in the comments when people criticize her. This comment says, I agree with you. And what about the brand name SkinnyGirl? Can we do something about that? And she responds, I changed it in swimwear and eyewear. I have no issue with it in the food products. The books are all about healthy relationships with food. Okay, I can understand the swimwear, but the eyewear, it does not make sense. Like, who needs to look skinny on their eyeballs? Like, come on. Like, I'm sure there's a trend coming. So I think the name change, at least with the eyewear, was more of a business decision. I don't think it makes sense that she consciously changed the name of SkinnyGirl eyeglasses because of toxic diet culture. And one category of products she conveniently leaves out is SkinnyGirl jeans. How can you justify that? And then someone else says, my hat's off to Kim. She set a goal for something she wanted and obtained that goal. That's a pretty good message to send also. Glass half full, please. And Bethenny says, great. Stay quiet about personal goals. Bad for young women. And someone else said, I love you and all that you do. I've seen a lot of hate for your SkinnyGirl branding. Thoughts? And Bethenny literally has the gall to respond and say, likely jealousy. Okay, yes, we're all very jealous. We're all very jealous of you, Skinny Girl. Okay. Likely jealousy. Skinny Girl in foods is a great name. For swim, no. For eyewear, also no. But for no good reason. And this comment says, disagree, Bethenny. It was 3 weeks, by the way, and she said she gave up sugar and bread. Then Bethenny responds, young girls are Googling it for prom. Okay, so young girls aren't Googling your detox diet that you literally have on your website that says don't eat solid foods for prom. Bethenny, come on, don't make these mistakes. You're gonna get caught. You're getting caught right now, and I'm just a tiny baby little YouTuber. And again, speaking about her daughter for the third time, there's an interesting article I came across where Bethenny, when her daughter was 4 years old, decided that it was time that they could start sharing clothes, and then posted this on Instagram. A lot of people thought it was in poor taste and might make actually her daughter feel bad about her size. Like at 4 years old, Bethenny, her skinny girl mom, is the same size and can fit. I don't know. I don't really care, but it's interesting. The really interesting part is that a judge in the divorce settlement, the divorce case, basically told Bethenny, forbid her from ever putting on her daughter's pajamas and taking pictures of it and posting it on the internet for the safety and the mental health of the child. So again, maybe you shouldn't rush to judgments on other influencers when literal judges are telling you what to do with your kid. Just saying. And another thing that Bethenny has criticized about Kim Kardashian, and this is something that I've criticized Kim Kardashian for as well, is this infamous nobody wants to work these days.
I have the best advice for women in business. Get your fucking ass up and work. It seems like nobody wants to work these days.
And Bethenny, you know, basically she didn't go too hard on her in this one, but here's the clip where she talks about it.
The Kardashians, their entire business is e-commerce. Even, you know, the Yeezys were being sold online, and the Skims and the lip and the beauty and all this stuff, that the clothing, it was all online. So they became billionaires during a pandemic. Many people were literally sitting on their ass the entire pandemic, ordering lip gloss and shapewear and things like that. So thank God for the women who were sitting on their asses, because they needed Skims to put on their asses and lip gloss to put on their lips, you know, when they did their Zooms. So it's just an interesting juxtaposition. And I think that this comment is provocative, because it's really bringing up the origin of Kim Kardashian's success, and it's just making women feel enraged in a certain kind of way, because we all have our own journey.
And again, I think you could also say the same thing to Bethenny. She also has a shapewear line. She also is trying to be an influencer in the beauty space. So again, the pot calling the kettle black. I got a word salad alert, everybody. This is Bethenny's take on how many people work hard in this world.
You execute your idea and you be better than everybody else. Doesn't matter if you're a woman or a man, you be better. And you go to the end zone. And you just know, because I'm telling you, because I've been from the other side and I'm over here, and most people don't work hard. And most people don't work hard and smart.
Now take a look at some of the comments. Someone says, most people work hard, Bethenny. And Bethenny says, nope, they don't. I thought everyone had their own journeys. Someone else says, most people work hard, most people aren't rich. And Bethenny says, most people aren't rich. Most people don't work hard. Sorry if it hurts. And someone says, she also forgot to mention she was on a reality show that got her fame, therefore propelled her business, and she promoted it all the time. And Bethenny says, did that work the same way for the other 150 people with the same opportunity? You sound a little bitter. And Bethenny, you sound very different in these comments than in the comments on your Kardashian critique video. Someone says, I believe she's smart, but she's definitely out of touch. I'm tired of the people don't want to work narrative. She's got nerve. And Bethenny has the nerve to say, there are people who don't want to work, but it's definitely not women. So the 150 people who didn't want to work in the Real Housewives franchise, those aren't women anymore? Okay, Bethenny. Someone else says, true, but when they generalize about being lazy, it hits a different way. A lot of people get up every day, work hard, and will never have their success. Bethenny says, fact. At this comment, I literally could not roll my eyes more than after reading this. Someone says, many of us are essential workers and worked overtime during the pandemic. I'm a nurse practitioner. I'm exhausted. Bethenny says, I'm exhausted too. Are you fucking kidding me? I don't even know what to say. Let's move on. Now, another criticism that Bethenny has put on to another influencer is on Meghan Markle.
So I'm thinking about this Meghan Markle shit show.
She could fuck up a wet dream. And maybe I'll be canceled because I'm saying this. You know, maybe this is not the forum, and maybe my podcast is. But I just think we have to be able to say something without getting beaten down.
She is a terrible, terrible business person, strategist. She's playing checkers, not chess, because she is overplaying her hand and she is painting herself into a corner, becoming a woman without a country.
Again, she comes off very mean and sexualizes her very quickly. I just don't think that's fair. And one of her big criticisms is that she can't shut up and she can't stop talking about her experience in the royal family, and that, you know, she should just move on and give everyone a break. Okay, fine. But Bethenny, you do the same exact thing with the Real Housewives of New York. She left once and then made a return, and it was a big deal, I guess. Then she left again, and now she's been off the show for several seasons, I believe. But she talks about it as if, like, I don't care about it. It was bad for my mental health. The show is so toxic. Everyone's like fake and it's whatever. And she's so much better without it. Okay, great. You know, I don't, again, probably don't disagree with what you're saying there either. But then literally like this week while I was working on this video, she announced on her birthday, because I think she didn't want to get the criticism. Personally, that's my opinion. She announced that she's starting a rewind podcast where she's going to watch old episodes with celebrities.
She's trying to grab the fame of Housewives to keep her storyline going. This sounds like a desperate search for a storyline for herself. And, you know, she's thrown Housewives under the bus a million times. She won't, I remember at one point, she wouldn't even say the word Housewives. So, you know, a disgruntled housewife doing a Housewives podcast, I don't think anybody wants to listen to.
It just seems like, hey, why don't you move on? Why don't we give us all a break and stop talking about it?
Pros play hurt. If you're not feeling the burn, you're not working hard enough.
And I've saved sort of the best for last, or the most juicy thing for last, and it's something that I need to do more research in, and I plan to do like a full video about it. I'm hoping to talk to both of the creators who were sent cease and desist letters to get like a more overarching explanation as to what happened, because it's hard to tell just watching someone's content, because there have been things that were deleted and Bethenny responded then deleted, so I don't want to like paint a narrative that's not accurate until I get the real facts. But here is my basic understanding of what happened. This creator on TikTok named Meredith Lynch does a bunch of pop culture videos. She talks about the Kardashians a lot. She talks about different celebrity skincare and makeup lines. And she talked about Bethenny Frankel several times in her content within the last year.
Sad news. We will have to be taking down all of our content related to a certain former Real Housewife of New York, because she has slapped me with a cease and desist, saying that I've made defamatory statements about her. This is what happens when you share the truth about things on here and you are not a huge celebrity. They just throw a cease and desist at you and you have to shut up, and it's ridiculous. It really is.
When Meredith announced that she was sent to cease and desist, a lot of people were speculating that it was Bethenny who sent it, and then Bethenny responded.
The only reason I'm discussing this ludicrous matter is because it's an example of how social media can be a breeding ground for false reporting. Just because someone has a tiny little fuzzy microphone doesn't mean that they know what they're talking about. And people on here just spread fake news as if it's accurate. And because you're following them and they have many followers, you think you're following someone who has a clue as to what they're talking about. The dummies who report about things like this don't know what they're actually talking about, because cease and desists are reserved for people that defame other people and talk about other people's charitable efforts, which save people's lives. That is not something I'm going to fuck around with. And yes, I do have a team of lawyers. And yes, I will send a cease and desist. And guess what? I will take a motherfucker to court if they start to fuck around with my business by saying something that is defamatory or false. So check that and fucking try me. And the people that are also make these insinuations. Bethenny Frankel. I mean, look in the mirror, because you're an embarrassment. I mean, really, like, so if you're going to follow someone and if you're going to report something, have your fucking facts straight, okay? If you're gonna take a shot at this bee, you better not miss.
It's very ironic that Bethenny would send anything legal-wise to smaller creators when she says things like this.
I'm proud of myself for speaking my mind when it's not that easy to do so, when it can be scary and you're alone, when everyone around you tells you don't say anything, you don't want to mess with these people, don't screw around, you have too much to lose. You know what? I don't want to be a follower. I want to be me, who has an opinion and is honest and is straightforward, and cancel me if that's not going to work, but I'm not going to be afraid.
Someone patting themselves on the back like that and also being involved in articles like this, I just find it super ironic that she would send out cease and desist letters to anyone, especially smaller creators on TikTok. I don't know what the repercussions of her behavior has been. It seemed like she was getting a lot of heat, but again, a lot of people were supporting her as well. So who knows? Things will play out as they do, but I am definitely interested in finding out more. And I don't think that any lawsuits have been filed, but there are lawsuits that Bethenny has been involved in and is involved in right now with TikTok. That's something else I want to look into. And the third thing I want to look into in the future about Bethenny specifically, and I already have started, is about her philanthropy called Be Strong. There's a lot to look through. I'm doing that. I'm doing my due diligence. I need help, honestly. So if you know somebody that's like very good at looking at these documents, I know there's someone on TikTok I'm going to reach out to that does this type of work and looks at different things, but I am interested. That's all I'm going to say. So if you've liked this video, please like, comment, subscribe, join the membership, come and watch a live stream. I tend to do them once a week. And we actually did a live stream, and by we, I mean myself and people who watched it, did a live stream about Bethenny Frankel, more so like just understanding who she was as a person and kind of getting up to speed. So if you're into that, if you like a little bit more of a relaxed vibe, less edited, I'll leave a link in the description below so you can watch it, and then maybe stick around for another one, because there's going to be more coming. Let me know any other topics you want to hear about, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.